How's it going, everybody? Mike here, November 24th. What I want to do today is actually kind of a spin-off from an article that I mentioned in my video yesterday when I was talking about the Merchant Former promotion that they're running. I was basically going over all the tools and functions that the Merchant Former has. And one of the things that I mentioned was just their news, their posts, and these are kind of like the tips and advice that they give. This is not for members only, so this is available to everybody. So if you want to read it on your own, I'll post the link to the article down in the description, and of course all the credit goes to Merchant Former team. Because this is their article. But since I mentioned it and scrolled through it, people started asking and said, hey, why don't you talk about that a little more? So I will. I've actually read this article a couple of times just to basically understand the math, like when it comes to, and you'll see what I'm talking about, the percentages and what shows up on first page, how products are displayed to customers, for example, the products that are sponsored and then products that are just organically on first page and how that happens, and then they just go over some numbers, and then later on they actually suggest how to come up with new niches and new kind of puns when it comes to, you'll see, certain holidays and certain interests that people will have. So this article is titled "New Product Not Selling Through on Merch by Amazon, Here's Why." The first thing that they do, and I won't read the whole thing, I'll read most of it. The first thing that they do is they actually show how products and how many show up on first page. So for example, here's what they say. The first thing you'll see when you open up this Amazon page is the number of results. And what they're doing is they're actually using the word dog here just as an example to show us what they're talking about. So they're saying when you look for dog, this can oftentimes be misleading. So scroll down, because they're talking, this number here is misleading. So they're saying, so scroll to the very bottom of the page and you'll see that there are 400 pages of dog shirts. So for example, it's saying that there are over 20,000 results. They're saying, let's take a look at another example. So saying, say you found a phrase that's popular around Halloween. I'm just here for the booze. Enter that into merchresearch.com and you get this. So basically what you get is this: 1 to 48 of 317 results for I'm just here for the booze. But again, this is not the full story, they say. Scroll to the bottom of the page and you'll see that there are 7 pages. Click on the third page and go deeper. What you instantly see at the top of the page now, it's indicating that there are over 3,000 results that say the exact same thing. So they go further. They basically say, scroll to the bottom of the page, and then what do you see? There are 80 pages of results, which again say the exact same thing. So this is like the first point here that they're trying to make, in basically making us understand why our products aren't selling. When we're doing kind of research and we're chasing those like best sellers, we're definitely not the only ones. There are thousands of us doing the exact same thing. And that's what, this is the result. There are over 3,000 products, shirts, that result in the exact same phrase, right? And we're all doing this to each other. I'm going to read this completely because I think the explanation that they've provided here is pretty good. So they say, let's do the math. The average Amazon search results page has 48 listings on them. Now, depending on how a customer is searching, this number can actually go down because some of those spots are sponsored listings. People are paying Amazon to show up at the top of the search. That's what happens when we advertise products. So if you say there are 48 listings on the first page and there are over 3,000 shirts, you can just do the quick equation. So 48 shirts divided by 3,000 listings means, so this is just the percentage, move the decimal over 2 spots, and you get around 1.6% of those designs are sitting on the front page. So 1.6%, right? This gets even worse when you start looking at Amazon like customers would. Remember, merchresearch.com is looking at merch-related clothing and not their entire catalog, which means that, you know, we're simply talking about merch by Amazon, right? But there are other people selling those same products, but not through merch. So head back to Amazon.com and this time search for the same phrase. Again, the first page can be misleading. So scroll to the bottom and click on the internal page. We picked page 3 and now it looks like this. There are over 10,000 results, but each page in a normal Amazon search result seems to give 60 results per page. Of those 60 results, 10 of them were sponsored. So that gives us 50 organic listings per page. Not all of them were merch shirts. And of those 51 organic listings, from the time we did this search, 34 of them were merch by Amazon shirts. So let's do the math again. 34 merch by Amazon shirts divided by 10,000 listings, and we get 0.34%. So let's read that again. Only 0.34% of merch shirts for this phrase are showing up on the first page. So they go further. In a normal Amazon results page, there are only 7 pages that are viewable to customers. At 60 results per page, they are only showing 420 listings out of 10,000. So what they say, and this is actually a nice little conclusion here or summary, this is all just a really long-winded way to say that old designs continue to sell because they have had the time to get sales velocity, reviews, and purchases for years. Your new designs that are going up with the same phrase are getting lost because of your tiny 0.34% chance of being on the front page. So that just kind of like, so far what they've done is put things into perspective. So they go a little further. So this is what they say. They say, change the way you think about research. So after reading through all of that, if you've made it this far, they say you might be thinking that this looks pretty grim, but they're saying not so fast. The issue is the way you're thinking about research. Research does not mean finding a phrase like we did above, this is what they say, I'm just here for the booze, and seeing that it sells extremely well. Research is not finding that phrase and creating the exact same phrase but making it look different. And this is what you actually, like when if you watch any of the videos on YouTube, when people are talking about, you know, how to use Merch Informer, what the best things are, they'll just basically say, this is the best seller, make some improvements, here are the keywords, and that's what you need to do. And then when we do that, we get no results. So if people keep the same type of thinking, things will just get much worse. However, they're saying we're off to a good start with our own research here. Why? Because we found a few crucial pieces of information. Number 1, they say we found a keyword phrase in a niche that has a lot of shirt designs in it. So that's good. I mean, knowing that information. Number 2, we found a keyword phrase which people are purchasing shirts in. This tells us that there are sales in this niche. Why else would so many people try to put up shirts here? It also tells us that puns are extremely popular on merch. So far then, they conclude, this is what we know. Halloween is a big niche, and they're using Halloween as an example, right? Halloween's a big niche where lots of sales occur. Puns, play on words in the Halloween niche sell extremely well. That's the second point. Third point, alcohol is also a popular merch topic. And then the fourth point, they're saying the merch catalog does not need a 10,001 edition of the same phrase on a shirt, which is completely accurate. And I'm guilty of a lot of this too, right? But I think what's worse is like, this is the advice that we get from all the gurus and everybody out there that's, you know, telling us how to run our business. So basically, they conclude and say you need to be unique in your merch business, which of course we know, but our question to everybody out there is how. So you can use the research to validate a niche and come up with your own spin on what you have learned with unique phrases, designs, and sayings that are not currently on Amazon. This works because the market for funny play on word designs in Halloween is already a hot seller. You can feed the same market without competing with the same overdone phrase again. So, how to do your research so you get seen on Merch by Amazon. So this is actually where they kind of go into some of the methods and they guide you through the thinking process. So they're saying we have a popular holiday, we have play on words, puns, and we have topics that are all combined together in our example above, which was the Halloween, booze, and alcohol. We can use the same method to come up with something unique. You need to keep the main overarching niche the same when it comes to doing research this way. Halloween is what we are not going to change since this is what our research showed is popular. So here we have Halloween designs. Now we need to come up with something, they're saying a popular merch topic, and then use a play on words with that. So there are a lot of popular merch topics, and they're saying some include healthcare, drinking, cars, school, and the list goes on and on. Remember, we are not looking for something specific here, just broad ideas. So they're basically saying, do your research and you will come up with some ideas. We know that cars are popular on merch, so let's take that idea and run with it. So here we have Halloween designs, and then cars as the main topic. They go on. This is where it gets interesting. Now we just have to come up with a play on words. Thinking back at the example above, we know alcohol is popular and people are flooding the market. Wine is a type of alcohol. Turbos are a type of car part. Turbos have something called a turbo wine. Do you see where we're going with this is the question that they asked. So now we have Halloween design, car turbos for the main topic, turbo wine, play on words with wine and wine. Put this all together and you can come up with a few fun variations that will compete with the same niche but not the 10,000 plus exact same designs. So here's some examples. Halloween witch holding a turbocharger in their hand that says, "Here for the wine." Halloween witch sitting on a broom that has a turbo on it that says, "Here to party and drink, drive, wine." Halloween witch sitting on a broom that has a turbo that says, "Turbo wine time." And they go on. They provide two more examples you can see here. "You can't scare me, pass the wine, drive stick, wine time." So basically they've got all that. They've set the stage basically saying that, hey, if you go with "I'm just here for the booze because it sells," you're going to be one of 10,000 plus. But if you kind of play on those combinations, play on words with different interests and different holidays. So for example, you can do the same thing with Christmas and cars, Christmas and drinking, all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that that's not out there, but those are the examples that they're providing. In this case, what they've done is they've done Halloween and wine, but also Halloween and cars. So these are all random ideas that we came up in 30 seconds. You will want to take some time to explore them. Research what's out there and then put a few things together. Let's just take Turbo Wine Time and run that through Amazon.com. Look through the results and not a single t-shirt in sight. Take Here for the Wine and run that through Amazon. 2 pages of results and yet again, not a single t-shirt or merch product. You can repeat this process with everything that we just came up with above, and you will soon realize that there is zero competition for this on Amazon because this phrase does not exist on a single merch product, but it does also not exist on any product on Amazon, which is incredible. That is not to say there are no buyers though. That is not to say there is no buyers though, because all of these potential product ideas we just gave you are appealing the same exact audience that the first example was. It is appealing to buyers in the Halloween niche that like funny phrases, and we mashed up the idea with another big seller on merch, cars. And this is where they wrap it up. Okay, there's a little joke. They're saying, if you made it this far, congratulations. Now it's up to you to put the time in and effort to come up with unique ideas for Merch by Amazon or any print-on-demand shop you're running. Anyone can copy an exact phrase and anyone can copy the exact phrase, throw it up on a shirt, but that does not mean you will make any sales. In fact, it is more likely a waste of time. So I actually completely agree, and one of the things that I am not only guilty of but critical of myself is when I do this, and I do this sometimes with some of my same designs that I'm kind of recycling for different niches, which I still think it's a good idea, but I'm doing this without actually doing research initially to see if there are 10,000 plus products in the niche that I'm attempting to break in. Take the time to learn how to research, what your research is telling you, and then use those key pieces of information to actually put quality, unique, and great design into Merch Catalog. This is the way to sales. And if you don't start doing this now, sales may suffer in the future. Good luck. I love this article. I completely understand why you guys asked me to go over it. I honestly, I'm guilty of, and this would be over the years of not actually educating myself. I'm just kind of like going with the flow when it comes to this. If I even put a few days or weeks aside where, let's say I didn't design anything or I didn't list products on Amazon, I believe that I would be better off. But I'm in that kind of mindset that I don't want to miss my chance and not list today. Like, for example, like, why would I not put up 1,800 products today if I can? How will I reach my goal of 1 million live products on Amazon if I don't list? But again, like they say, what's the point of listing if you're not going to get sales? And that happens to me a lot. And somebody even left a comment, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, basically saying that none of their new designs are selling. And this is exactly what the article is. So anyways, I'm going to wrap it up here. I think these are the recent posts. You guys can see the topics here. But again, Merch Informer as a tool, and like I said, I just basically did a promotional video yesterday because they're running a Black Friday sale. But I think the platform itself is just amazing, and these kinds of articles always get to me, and they kind of I guess change or influence the way you think, and I think that's what needs to happen from time to time. I think education in this kind of a setting and kind of a business is so important, because we can't assume that we know what we're doing, and then the last thing that we want to do is assume that somebody on YouTube knows what they're doing and we're learning from them. Like, yeah, sure, we're looking at their results and everything, and sometimes things work out, but there are people that are not on YouTube that are doing amazing things and getting incredible sales, and we don't know what they do. Like I said, I mentioned this a few times. I've seen a person on YouTube who has 200,000 with almost 200,000 products live, and they're making maybe 2 or 3 times more than I do at times. And I have 6,000 products live. Now the numbers are getting kind of incredible with, I have 150,000 products live, but 6,000 designs, and all those products have gone live in the last couple of months. But I'm just saying, like, if somebody does make $5,000 in profits, it could be the numbers game, and that's fine if somebody's playing that game, because at times I'm playing that game as well. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is education is super important, and that's why I love these kinds of articles. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you soon.